Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of InvictusCon. I'm Ren. I am your panel moderator and host. You've seen me all weekend, and I am so excited to be here for our final panel of the weekend. Come craft with us. I see a lot of you in chat on the Discord. If you're watching on YouTube, you can join our community on Discord. That's where we're all chatting. And yeah, let's get into it right away because I want to save as much time for crafting as possible because this is only an hour-long panel because it's Sunday morning and we're all exhausted. And for our guest, it's 4 a.m. So
on a
Monday.
On a Monday.
On a Monday, 4 a.m. on a Monday. So let's
Time zones, what are they?
A huge round of applause for poor Demelza. Demelza, welcome.
I'm fine. Hello.
Hello.
I am tired, wired, and inspired. Let us go.
Let's go. Yes. What's in your mug this morning?
That is coffee. Well, hang on. We got the coffee, we got the Red Bull, we got the water because we need the beverage goblin.
Beverage goblin. Yes. I've got black tea and I've got my little Hulkamania of water. And I would have coffee, but I'm at my friend's house and I don't know how the coffee machine works and she's still asleep. So, but it's okay. It's okay. Because it is a luxurious 8 a.m. for me. So.
Oh, how lovely for you.
I know. It's basically noon. Yeah.
What's it
like? So, Demelza, let's jump right into the crafting because I want to, and I'm going to ask you questions while you craft. So,
yep.
Just transition us right into the craft you're going to work on this morning.
So I've got God Love Your Harlan has picked up put in an order for a Kane plushie this week, and I've just kind of looked there and went, oh, cool, that covers a lot of everything I want to talk about. So I have his skin ready to go for later, in all the things, and I believe I'm being bullied into designing a plushie while I'm here.
That's correct. Yes. You say bullied, but it was your idea. So
yes, it was my idea. It's fine that I need
to know. Okay, so when you have a plushie like Kane, how long did it take you to think from the beginning of I want to make a plushie for Kane to right now you have, the skin of it ready to go? Like, oh, somebody puts in an order, I know exactly what I'm doing. How long did that take?
Well, I don't come up with the design before anyone gets anywhere near the order stage. So it takes me about, including making the first initial one, it takes me several hours from start to finish. Just the first time I make it, the more of them I make, the faster I get. Like I can churn out an Arthur in about 2 hours at this point, but the first time it takes so long. The first time it takes so long, but that's not including a lot of the things I make have custom parts. Like the eyes, as you can see on my little Arthur over here, have custom colored eyes because you just straight up cannot get colored safety eyes unless you're willing to spend a very large amount of money getting a manufacturer to make them for you. So I cast all of that stuff myself, and that takes 24 hours for the resin to set. A lot of it is just waiting and the prep time, but all up maybe 2-3 hours.
Okay. The chat is losing it over how good you look, FYI. So lots and lots
matching
and lots.
My logo very subtly.
Yes. The pompadour is what you call it?
My victory roll. Victory roll, curl, etc. There's the full rockabilly kit. The dress has pockets, my dears.
Amazing. I've got
another thing I make myself.
I'm working on this jacket today. That's the craft I brought.
Yes.
And then I'm placing patches today. I can't sew at all. I can't even just I couldn't even sew a patch, but I do safety pins.
There's a lot to the safety pins that befuddles the hell out of me.
Fallout Boy, shout out.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is what I'm going to be working on while I ask you questions and you work on your thing. So
I get to fidget with something while I'm talking. This is great.
That's right.
She says doing Kane's tiny sleeves.
Tiny sleeves. What was the first craft you fell in love with?
Oh god, that was actually probably sewing. I do have a very solid memory of, I think I was like 4 in my equivalent of preschool. They gave us a sheet of paper with a big old letter of the first letter of your name on it, a big plastic needle and a piece of yarn, and just went, yeah, put that through the paper and go like that for a while. I'm going,
Yeah.
that was also the same preschool that I got banned from the craft corner because there was this great big roll of iridescent cellophane, and I just kind of taped a stick to one end of it and ran because it was attached to the bench by a spool. That was a delightful memory, just this giant rainbow of cellophane going through this, what I remember being a very huge room.
Oh my God.
I wasn't
Did
allowed
you
back in there for a while.
did you always have a lot of energy like that?
I seem to remember having energy at one point. I vaguely remember what it was like to be energetic
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
need caffeine to
And not
function.
need
But yeah, yeah,
God.
no, definitely. I'm pretty sure I was. My mother would probably be able to tell you, definitely for sure. Hi, mum, by the way, if you're watching live. Um, yeah, I know. I mean, I was definitely the weird kid that had too much going on in their brain, so they needed an outlet of some kind.
When are you a full-time crafter as your job?
No, I actually I make curtains as my day job. I work for Mackenzie and Willis, which is a fairly reputable interiors company. So I hang out in the workroom for 40 hours a week and sew curtain linings.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
It's
like adjacent.
Yeah, it's actually quite lovely. I think I still maintain I've got the easiest job in the room. I stand at a sewing machine that has a conveyor belt attached to it and just sew the sides and the hem of curtain linings for 40 hours a week. It means I get to binge through all my podcasts
Ooh.
constantly because it is just so automatic and it's really nice.
Oh, that makes sense. I know a lot of people who love art and crafts as a hobby worry that if they have it as their full-time job, they'll burn out. Has that ever been a problem for you?
Sometimes, but you gotta, part of that is actually getting your scheduling down. Like it's taken me a wee bit to manage my time with this a bit better. Like the whole reason I get up, I usually get up at like 5 because I'm at work at 7, 7:30 rather, and do all my crafty stuff in the morning. If I didn't, it's taken me a wee bit to actually get around to no, I'm not going to craft in the evening because that is my wind down time. Otherwise,
Mm,
you do burn out real quick if you don't have a solid division between your personal time and your working time or your crafting time. Then it sucks the joy out of everything.
that completely makes sense.
Mm.
How many times have you had to revamp that schedule? I'm thinking specifically of, like, I know since you've gotten into malevolent stuff, the support from the community has been bonkers, and did you, like, have a before and after, and what did that look like, and how did you go through the process of, like, "Oh, wait, I'm starting to do too much again, I gotta pull back?"
That kind of ended up being reflected in my, well, rejiggering my processing times, like because everything I make is made to order. I don't. My flat is tiny, and there is not enough room to have like boxes of pre-made
Oh,
stock that I'd love to do.
yeah.
Which, yeah, it's a whole thing. But that just meant that I had to take a reasonable look at my processing times and how much time I actually have to allot to anything, and go, okay, so I have to let people know that stuff's going to take a bit longer. Everyone in the community's been lovely, and every time that I've had to go, I've bitten off more than I can chew. Hey guys, please be kind. I have to spend another week making this pretty. But that's been really, everyone's been lovely
Yeah.
about that. But it's the hard part of taking a really solid look at what you're doing and going, I can't do that.
Megan mentioned in the panel yesterday that when you overcommit, you end up disappointing people, and that really resonates with me a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, it's a lot more of I disappoint myself with it. With the I can
Yes.
definitely do this. No, I can't. I'm a failure. No, I'm not. I just did something silly.
Oh, thank you, Liz. Hi, Harlan. Harlan's watching right now.
Hi, Alan. Look, your boy. in his deflated glory.
That's what he's going to look like at the end of season 6, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yeah, steamroll him.
Okay, let's see here. All right. I've got one patch on. The nice thing about not sewing is it goes a lot faster.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend do ones that have just like a nice little thick sewing because I wanted it to look like not nice.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then just the regular old safety pins.
Nice.
Let's see how that looks. Oh, I had a question and then it left my mind. Harlan asks, is that Audrey 2 in Demelza's background?
No, it's not. It's actually a creature from a Kiwi artist under the name of Creatures of Chaos. That is one of her tooth plants, which is adorable. 1 second, hang on. Come here. Bring him down. My boy, with his posable tongue.
A posable tongue! That's amazing!
It is a delight. She's one of my favorite local artists. She is absolutely wonderful. I think I got him 2 years ago at our local convention is called Armageddon Expo, so I picked him up then.
Really, truly some great prop work. Oh my gosh.
He is a delight. Look at his little teeth. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
And his little mouth is adorable.
Amazing.
She does really blimmin' awesome stuff, and I'm just I keep staring at them on Instagram going, we keep liking each other's stuff. I need to buy something from you.
I feel that. Hardcore.
Oh, I was looking for the eyes. Jesus.
Somebody's working on a malevolent themed jacket. That's amazing.
Yes. Oh, I think I saw that one in the crafting channel a couple of days ago.
It's white, yellow, and brown, and has different.
That is not the one I'm thinking
of. Yes, I feel you on not having enough room to keep all of your stuff in.
Yeah.
I'm hoping more people buy the CDs that I'm selling, because otherwise Patrick's going to be quite upset that I have all of these CDs in the house, which we do not have room for.
Completely fair. From what I saw, the hype was looking really good on them in the channel, and your booth there.
Yeah. It was my first visual project that I had done at all like that. And it reminded me of the book in the sense that at the end of it, it's just a whole bunch of executive functioning.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
And it does not feel like creation anymore. It doesn't feel anything near creativity. It's just a whole lot of small decisions and executive functioning. Is that when you start a new project, now you've done this so much, do you still get that with new projects?
Yeah, on occasion. You get towards the end, that's the initial, oh my god, yes, I'm going to do the thing. Actually, a very good example of that's my little potion bottle plushies, which are hanging out over there. They started off with, okay, this is definitely a cool little thing that I definitely want to make. These are adorable. And then I got to the end of them going, they're fine, they're great, but they're very plain. And then I kept going back and going, it needs something. What does it need? Okay, I'm going to put a little tag on it. But I have literally been agonizing over how the little tags hang on them for a couple of months. And I completely and utterly redid how they sit on them 2 days ago. Actually, hang on, where are we? There we go, my little dude. Just getting that bit to sit how I like it, it has been driving me up the wall, because you kind of want the little hang, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to get that going. And then I finally, about 2 hours before I went to bed the night before the con, I went, oh my god, I can do it like that. Yes, I'm just going to redo everything and take all new pictures and edit them and put them up, and oh my god, why?
Oh gosh, no, I feel you. I literally got my Ko-Fi stuff finally done like minutes before the Q&A started.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yes, sometimes a deadline works.
Yeah, sometimes it does, and other times you sit there and go, no, why?
It really does not. Yeah. I think that is a function of, we were talking in the artist break room, aka the artist breakdown, of
Yeah.
skill points. And
Yeah.
I think using a deadline in that way, like, it works better if you already have the skill points for the thing that you're doing, or skill points in at least some of the skills that you're using to finish the project, versus go ahead.
Versus getting them from scratch, because you've got to, unfortunately, you have to do the grunt work tutorial of getting the skill points before you can actually use them, which sucks, and no one wants to do that, but you kind of have to.
It really, really sucks. The CD project was that for me. I had basically never used Canva before. I'm really, really bad at visual thinking, which, like, you're doing all of this is so visual, like, you can, and there's a lot of secret math involved with crafts.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but also using what I've got, because I finally figured out how to actually describe it. I don't think in words, I think in pictures, which definitely helps everything. Like, there is no internal monologue in here. There is nothing. It is wind whistling through the pines. There is nothing up there. What there is, however, is an awful lot of pictures. There's an awful lot of just vague images of, okay, that's how it's going to look. Let's translate that into a physical thing, which is really quite easy for me.
That's amazing.
It's pretty great. It was, oh my god, it was great.
Go.
No, because I was, sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
No, it was pretty much just babbling about the thinking in pictures. I was trying to explain, my partner were trying to have a discussion on something, and I just straight for the life of me couldn't figure out what he was getting at, and I finally figured out what he was getting at, and I just went, okay, so what we're having a problem here is that you have an internal monologue and I don't think in words. And then it was, oh, this makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, those communication things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, 100.
Oh, Helen had a question. What you got?
Oh yeah, Ash, if there's questions in the chat, if you could put them on. Oh, the Dice Shame Goblin you make is phenomenal. Are you a big RPG fan? How did you get into RPGs? If so, what inspired the potions as well?
Oh my god, I am a DM. I have been DMing my campaign for 5 years now. Actually, we just had the anniversary of that at the beginning of the month. Hey guys, I know that I'm going to be actually seeing them all tonight and screaming at them about this. It's good. Oh god, how did I get into it? I think I just kind of came across D&D at one point, got a little bit obsessed with it thanks to my partner, eventually got him to run us a wee campaign, and then we're sitting there in Tomb of Annihilation. I'm going, this is very fun. I kind of want to do this. Is this a bit insane? Yes, it is, but it's really fun. Oh my god, it's so much fun. The potions, I just there's something about potion bottles that just tickles my brain in a really nice way, and the plushies kind of spawned out of I used to do an awful lot of pop culture plush toys, and specifically Pokeballs were a very fun thing that I like to make, and I got the pattern to such a point where I managed to get the pattern so it just sits very nicely in your hand and you can throw it really good and it just feels good. And the potion bottle pattern is just an evolution of the pattern from the Pokeball. So it still sits really nice in your hand, and it's so nice to, confirmed by my players and my partner, it's very nice to throw at things and people. Yeah. Yep.
Happy 5th anniversary. That's an incredible. Keeping a table together that long is quite the achievement.
Oh, you want achievement? There's 7 players.
It all fell out. 7 players? Good God.
Yeah. Yeah, we gained one at about the first year mark.
That's wild. I am very, very impressed by that.
They're all absolutely lovely and wonderful people and absolute agents of chaos, and I'm going to try my hardest to kill their characters tonight.
Yes. Love that energy. I love a a DM who's not afraid to have an adversarial relationship with their players.
Oh, I'm terrified to upset them and actually kill them, but the threat of it is a joy.
Mm-hmm. What other types of crafts do you work on?
Well, I make all of my own dresses, as we've seen thus far. Just because
Wow.
I have odd proportions, and I also flat out refuse to pay the price that
The
these
price.
dresses cost. Yeah,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
plus, you straight up, if I may, you just don't get pockets in any of
That's so
this at
true.
all.
Yes.
Plus, if I can fit an entire Kindle in these things, and it's great. What else do I do?
Amazing.
Yeah, Kindle and actually my Yeti does fit in the other pocket as well, so it works out pretty good. I also do stickers of anything that it's mostly cryptids, and yeah, it's pretty much mostly cryptids that I do a lot of work on. What else do I do? I am also a graphic designer, so I do all of my own work for branding and logos and all my little tags, everything.
Wow. Wow. Kara asks, how did you start, or that one is Kara's. I don't know who that one is from, but I'm going to read it anyway. How did you start selling your crafts / set up your shop? I've been looking to sell some of my crochet stuff, and I've been trying to figure out how to go about that.
It is hard. I'm not going to mince that. It is difficult, but it's definitely worth it. I started with local craft shows. As I said earlier, I did start with pop culture I started with pop culture plushies and little polymer clay charms, accessories, and that sort of thing. So I found a couple of local craft markets, got myself in there, and it was nerve wracking as hell. Put myself out there and shilled my wares to the general public. It was difficult, but the online side of it started. When was that? That would have been. It was before the pandemic, so that was a good 8-9 years ago, I believe. That was an awful lot of. That was pretty much the same thing, just without the general public aspect of it.
Did you start on Etsy?
Yes, I am still on Etsy. I very briefly had my own shop, but the website fees and the hosting fees and the reach were just.
Yes.
That is unfortunately why a lot of us stay with Etsy, despite their many interesting choices.
Yes. Yeah. It is not a perfect platform, but yes, you cannot beat the reach. And hosting your own site is not worth it at all. It's so expensive.
It is so expensive.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to be sorry.
No. Go ahead.
You kind of have to be like an insanely established brand to get any traction with your own website. And
yes,
as you do small business stuff, you are the marketing, you are the publishing, you are the everything there. It is hard. It is so hard, which is where Etsy comes in fairly handy because they do a lot of that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Starting out, it's not going to be perfect, and you have to be okay with that just to get things out there and start. Like, you might not want to, be on a site that isn't the best, but it's what's gonna get you started.
Yes, social media much.
Exactly.
We're all slaves to the algorithm.
Yeah, I'm on Substack, and Substack's just as bad. How long did it take for your shop to take off? Did it start with friends and family and expand through your network, or did you do a lot of social media stuff?
It was definitely friends and family that I started this off with. So many of my mates have some of my early stuff, and every time I see it, it's just, oh, okay, yep, I have definitely come a long way, haven't I? And it's, a lot of it is just people taking your stuff to people that you know and local people and working from there, and then it's social media. A lot of that. And physical markets, obviously a lot of physical markets.
What's the divide on the physical markets and craft fairs to the online stuff?
I don't do physical markets anymore just because they, unfortunately, almost all of my customer base is in America, in the States. I don't do an awful lot of local sales just because of the nature of the stuff that I do. What I mostly work on is cryptids and D&D stuff. The local market is oversaturated for D&D. Right. Unless you do something like Armageddon Expo, which is it's a great convention. It is unfortunately just a little bit expensive because of where we are. The tiny bottom of the world. Everything's expensive down here. Yeah. But no, most of my stuff's online.
Scotty asks, any advice for finishing projects?
Oh, that is a hard one. That is a very difficult one. Because it is unfortunately just a lot of, I tend to hyperfixate and go, well, I obviously can't leave this unfinished. I definitely cannot leave this unfinished. This does not tickle my brain in a very pleasant way. So it's no, I'm going to do it. Do it. It's the internal monologue is just do it.
Find what works for your spicy brain. Find what works for your spicy brain is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, do you have to trick your brain into going, well, if I'm listening to I do almost all of my work while I'm listening to something, if it's an audiobook or a podcast, or usually if I have to finish something, it is a couple of playlists of very loud music that I just stick in and ignore everything that's going on outside, and it helps with the focus a fair bit. But a lot of it is just tailoring something to help your own brain
100%
figure out what you're doing.
So true.
Ooh,
it's so true.
Well, I've got While I have a hot second, Harlan, your boy, he did pick out a dude, and this does cover a lot of my stuff. He did pick out a scent pouch on it, and I did mention in my booth that I was going to actually mention how I do that if I could gab for a hot second.
Go for it.
Where did it? She says, wondering where she put it. There we go. All right, Harlan, God love you, picked out. We got a cinnamon scented cane, because why not? A little bit of space, which from memory, I'm pretty sure that I sent him an allspice and a whiskey, wood smoke, and leather Arthur and John. No, John and Arthur in that order. So this definitely works out really well. I use candle fragrance oils to do this. What happened to the bottle of it? It's gone somewhere. Goodness only knows. But there's a whole bunch of little boxes behind John and Arthur over yonder that have the little bottles of candle fragrance oil, because that is insanely concentrated, smelly goo, which I dump in these little jars with a whole bunch of, you can kind of see them. They are called aroma beads, but it's basically the silica gel beads that come in the, like in boxes of anything nowadays. It just absorbs all the oil. And now that I've got that in front of me, I usually can't smell these unless I stick them in my face. But now that I've got that out of there, it's just cinnamon.
Whoa.
And it usually lasts, it's supposed to last for up to 6 months if it's kept like not in sunlight. But I've had some people go, hey, I bought this like a year or so ago, and it still smells really good. I'm going,
amazing. How did you come up with that?
And then they, a lot of R&D. I found a bunch of people online that had done pretty much done the same thing. And actually a lot of the tutorials were from people making, I think the folks in the States call them freshies. It's like an air freshener thing with the same thing. It's pretty much the same method. They just melt it a little bit so that it makes a solid shape and then hang it in the car.
Never heard of that.
But I just leave it I make a little pouch and stuff it into the heads of the little guys that I'm working on. It's an awful lot of get in there with the brain surgery. There we go.
Yeah, in there.
There we go.
Amazing. When how much R&D did it take for the eyes?
Not a lot. I did a lot of trying to find, because I'm lazy, trying to find existing colored stuff, and then it was okay, so I'm going to have to do this myself because I'm not paying a lot of money for someone to cast something for me in plastic. It took a fair bit of trial and error to make the molds. I ended up, I think I'm on about the 7th or 8th iteration of the mold itself now. How did I actually go about that one? Now that I think about it. I ended up, I started off with like a tin silicone, which I don't really recommend very much. But it's pretty much just taking the existing eyes and prepping up a little mold out of cardboard and taking molds of that. Taking molds. I'm just saying a lot of the same word over and over again. This is great. It is a lot of trial and error actually doing the casting part of it, because I don't use a pressure pot for my casting process like a lot of nukes do, specifically dice makers. It's just a lot of figuring out exactly the right ratio of resin into the cavities just to stop it from making all the holes in it. In terms of coloring it, acrylic paint is pretty much what I use, unless I'm making something like glittery ones or glow in the dark ones, which incidentally I can do with almost everything because I have so much stuff.
Somebody asked, how do you deal with shipping? I'm selling prints for the first time and it makes me want to tear my hair out. I'm also dealing with shipping for the first time.
That never goes away. That never goes away. Because I am way down at the bottom of the world. Everything is expensive. Everything is so expensive to ship from here. And I still maintain that if shipping was better, I would make more sales. It's hard. It is so hard. There's a lot of researching through all of the shipping companies that you can possibly find and finding out what works best for you.
Yeah. Yes.
It's really bloody hard. Like my shipping costs are unfortunately what they are. I get asked every now and again, why don't you do FedEx or anything? Because to send this guy through FedEx is about $240. Not happening.
No, not happening. Not happening.
It is not something that I can ask in any good conscience anyone to pay for this guy.
Yeah. Fleet commiserates with that.
Yo.
Yeah, I made a hard decision to only ship my CDs to the United States because I was like scared. It's the first time I've ever done a shipping thing, and I was like, I'm like scared of taking on too much. I want to make sure that I promise exactly what I know that I can deliver on, and like it's going to mean less sales, but it's also like it's scary to and it's expensive.
It's so expensive.
It's so
packaging. Jesus, that's costs that people don't think about is just the cost of packaging alone. Never mind the shipping.
Yep, absolutely. It's the sticker. Like if you want to do the printing, the labels, and the it's bonkers. Yeah. Harlan asks, what made you want to enhance the plushies with scents?
Yeah. All right. Fun story time with Demelza. I am a child of the 90s. In the 90s, down in my end of the world, there was this delightful company called Moose who put out this lovely little range of little tiny blind bag plushies called Smelly Bellies, which were these just little weird blob dudes that all had different scents in them. And that became a core memory so damn fast. I don't even think I had very many of them. I know damn well that I had one that smelled allegedly of cola, and I've got a friend that had one that smelled of banana. It just sits in the brain and tickles something very nice in there. And there's a couple of memories that I have from being a kid of vaguely scented, overly scented, like lip gloss and the like. Specifically, I had a sunflower one, which was absolutely bizarre. Yeah, which I've been chasing that high, and I managed to find that oil not too long ago as well. But it's just an extra little something nice. It's like grounding, kind of. It's very sensory, I think is the best word that I can have for that one.
That's amazing. And a huge congratulations to you for finding it again. Having something like that in your brain and being able to find it is like such a good feeling.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fun. It's really nice. And I mean, again, I can't smell any of that, but allegedly my office smells great.
White Rose / Frida asks, how do you get enough courage to actually start a shop?
That's the secret. It's not courage. I'm faking everything.
Yes, correct. That's absolutely correct. It's not courage at all.
No one. It is not. It is faking it. It is faking it. It is faking it until you believe your own nonsense.
It's so true. There was a leadership thing that I went to where they talked about how to make change in your workplace, and because it was very business oriented, they had like it was basically a scale for change management of most people won't change until the deficits outweigh the benefits. Like the benefits of not changing are usually so high because status quo, because fear, because,
Change is scary.
what if, fear of failure, perfectionism, all of that is always so high that change usually only happens when the negatives of not changing outweigh those things. And so I think this works for me because, as we talked about pre-stream, I'm a negative reinforcement thinker. But instead of courage, it's like I just get to a point where it's like I can't take it anymore. If I don't do this, then like what am I doing with my life?
Oh yeah.
And that's
The good thing about that is that you can you don't have to like doing it either. You can sit there and go, I don't want to, and drag your feet and bitch and moan the entire time. But the point is you're doing it.
You're doing it. Exactly. Yes.
No one likes doing things. Yes. None of us like doing things, but then we do it.
And then yes. I thought it was going to be too negative for the stream yesterday, but in my notes, I have, you're going to curse God, you're going to curse yourself, you're going to curse everybody, you're going to be so miserable, but you're just going to do it anyway.
Find things to curse.
Yes, you're going to find things to curse.
It's so
curse Harlan for making this podcast, curse Joe for
the amount of
being
times,
so awesome.
Okay. Again, I work, because of how I work, I listen to a lot of podcasts and books and audiobooks and stuff. I have tagged Harlan, I have tagged you, because every time I hear your bloody voice on something, it's just me at work going, God damn it, Harlan, aloud. My co-workers just kind of look at me and go, what the hell's wrong with you? Don't worry about it. I'm just listening to a thing and I've recognized a voice actor.
Harlan jump scare.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Pigeon asks, how do you add the blood on the cane plushies?
Paint. It's all paint. It is actually my little paint and my little paintbrush. The paint is an acrylic, which, small mercies, it tends to dry fairly waterproof. And because of the nature of what I do, they don't usually see a lot of action, so the waterproof nature of it doesn't matter too much. But it's pretty much just me going ham with a paintbrush.
Wow. I don't know anything about craft, so I would have thought that paint wouldn't stick well to that plushie material.
It does if you mush it in.
Okay. How long did that take to figure out?
Oh, not very well. Hang on. Sorry, 2 seconds. Pin in my mouth. Back when I started, I was doing my fan art plushies. I do owe an awful lot of starting out to the My Little Pony community, because I made so many My Little Pony plushies, and as anyone knows, those are all unique and all have their own little doodads on them. So I had to paint every single bit of detail on there, and I finally figured out, okay, if I'm just paintbrushing away at the fabric, it doesn't sink in the fibers, it looks like crap. But if I mush it into the fibers, it stays.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Starting in fandom is so helpful.
Oh yeah, because you've actually got a nice little visual set of rules that you can follow, and you know what it's supposed to look like, and there's not a lot of guesswork.
Flea asks, what are you having the most fun working on at the moment?
There is a tie between my potion bottle plushies and my goblins. I love my goblins a lot.
Goblins.
I love my little goblins. I got my one. Well, my personal boy. My blessed boy Crinkle.
Oh, I love him. I love so his much earrings.
Fun. Yeah, no, that is literally just pieces of craft chain that I took apart and wedged onto his little legs.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
Plus, I just kind of had the dice goblin phrase was rattling around in my head, and I'm going, okay, so they've obviously got a hoard of something. I want to make a goblin plushie. And there was a fair bit of actual R&D that went into these little guys too. I had to enlist my partner got enlisted in figuring out their heads, because my usual plushies are just like, as we can see, fairly smooth, chippy, basic heads, and my partner's going, no, it's got to have a nose, it's got to have a weird chin, it's got to have something weird going on. I'm going, yeah, but it's got the bat ears. No, it needs something. I'm going, okay, fine. But I am so glad that I listened to him, because look at him, he's got character.
He fully like Jim Henson level of character to this guy.
Oh, I'll take that. I will take that, and I will die happy.
Flea posted the pictures of a finished cane, which I have never seen the back of before. How long does it take you to paint one of these?
Not very long. It is pretty much just, again, having go at it with the paintbrush until it looks vaguely like I'd like it to do. Flea specifically requested more blood. Their order came through and just went, more blood, please do more blood. I don't care where it goes. If you want more money, we'll give you more money. I'm going, no, I will do this. And then the order came through while I'm at work. Yeah, there we go. Came through while I was at work, and I just had this lovely little brainworm of, I'm going to put bloody handprints on his butt unless Flea tells me not to. And then it was, no, I'm going to check in with that first, and then it was, blood.
If I know Flea, she's going to want bloody handprints on a cane butt.
No, that's the thing. I barely knew Flea at the time, and then it was just, no, I want to do, this is for me. This is a me thing. I want to do something fun.
Oh, I love that so much. We only have like 20 minutes left.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Time flies.
Time does fly. I wanted to start asking the audience, what plushie should Demelza make next?
Yes.
As we answer another question from Luna Maria. Hi, Luna Maria. We had so much fun yesterday. Demelza, is your shop your full-time job now? No, it's not. At the very beginning, I'll have you talk about it again. If so, how did you transition into being a creative work full-time? Although I will say your job is also creative work. But tell us more about that.
It's less creative. The full-time job is less creative and more, what is the phrase? Skilled labor. That's the one. But it does, because it's very repetitive, it does allow me to just kind of sit there and not exactly zone out, because I am focused very much on my job. Boss, if you happen to be watching, I focus on it all the time, completely and utterly. But because it's very repetitive and I'm very good at it at this point, I can just kind of sit there and like pattern make while I'm in my head, while I'm looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
So it does, and I do bring all of my orders and stuff to work with me to work on my breaks, because what is time? There is only so much time.
Yes, and you're in work mode anyway, so yeah, that makes sense. Do you patent your stuff?
No, because that is expensive.
Yeah, okay.
But because of how I do a lot of my patterns, it is really bizarre. And if someone can figure out what I've done based off it, then hell, good for you.
More power to them.
More power to them. If you can figure out what's happening in my brain and go from there with it, then
if you could tell me what's going on in my brain.
No, me first.
How do you determine the quality of yarn to use for your projects? Is what you're using yarn? This is how little I know about this.
No, it is polar fleece fabric.
How do you determine the fleece levels?
It's a lot. It's a sensory thing again. So tiny bit of background to that. When I was like really, really little, my mother would take me through fabric shops with her, and she'd go through and, you touch the fabric as you go by. She likes to tell people that she was doing that in the shop, and she happened to look down and see my little hand out of the pram doing the same thing. I still do that, because that is the easiest way to feel if something is right. Like specifically with polar fleece, which I like using over minky, because the colors it's a lot more durable fabric, and it's a lot kinder on the sewing machine to use, and it doesn't shed everywhere. The quality is not consistent. Not all polar fleece is the same. It looks it, but the touch can be wrong. Like the stuff I use, I prefer it to be nice and soft and feel pretty good. You can get stuff that just feels. It's like the softer equivalent of touching a steel wool.
Ooh.
Yeah, it does not spark joy. It does not spark joy, but this stuff does. And it's very nice and squidgy. And actually, Kane is pretty much almost done.
Amazing. Oh, somebody started a poll. Great.
Oh, no.
I'm voting for Yorick. Oh, Yorick's winning by a mile.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Wait.
Damn it, I knew.
There needed to be Larson, though. What would a Larson? Oh, no, wait. We had an idea for an Oscar with only one arm. Was that me? That was Harlan and me on the Q&A. Yeah.
You had the idea for a hot dog.
That's a Chicago-style hot dog. That's right. I forgot about that.
I'm actually going to mush some blood onto my boy here because everything else, the glue's got to set on everything else, but I can put some blood on.
Classic. I safety pinned my jacket to my pajama pants.
That's not what's supposed to happen.
No. I knew it felt like too many layers of fabric I was safety pinning.
I mean, as long as it was only fabric and not flesh, you're groovy.
I've touched myself quite a few times this morning. Sasha asks, what advice would you give to someone looking to get into making plushies?
Accept that you're not going to be good the first time. The first few are going to be really bobbly and not look like how you want them to at all. And then it's just practice. It is muck around. Start with basic shapes. Don't start with something like my boy. Basic like spheres are a very good place to start because once you get the hang of that, then a lot of what I do basically starts as a sphere pattern and evolves from there.
Oh.
Like the heads are very round.
Yeah.
And what is a human if not a sphere with growths?
Put it in the quotes, people. People, put it in the quotes.
What is a human but a sphere with growth?
That's very eldritch of you.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Harlan, unless you specify you want more blood, he's getting the basics.
More blood. More blood.
See? He gets a little mushy.
Oh. I'm so interested to see how this is.
It is pretty much just stab it. And it's specifically with a shitty paint, not a shitty paintbrush, a way too big a brush because it gives you the better spatter.
Okay. Blood for the blood god.
Skulls for the skull throne. See, we went 50 minutes without talking about Warhammer. We're very controlled.
Very, very controlled. Okay, now somebody posted a new poll and now Oscar is winning.
Oh boy.
Listen, you having a skull plushie from you that's something I would cuddle for sure. I would cuddle an Oscar plushie though. If you do an Oscar plushie, no, go ahead.
No, I'm working on a skull. Skulls have been a thing that I've been staring at going, how? Because it's got the weird divot in the back of it, and it's definitely a thing that I want to do at some point.
Somebody in Artist Alley is selling an Oscar charm that has a rosary on the bottom of it, and they're only selling it for this Invictus Con, and it is gorgeous. And I
have you seen that in the light though? Have you seen that thing in the light? It is stained glass. It is beautiful.
I wish you hadn't told me that because I was about to say I have negative dollars and I can't buy it, but I am immediately going to buy it after this.
It's a thing of beauty. I am so sorry I cannot remember your name, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Somebody link it in the chat. Yes, there's so many artists in Artist Alley. I can't find anything. I see something once and then it's gone. Has Harlan said anything about the extra blood yet?
No, but I'm looking at chat there and about the wrist pain while sewing, and I do have something on that.
Ooh, go for it.
Well, yeah, there we go. There was a fairly solid point there where I had some hand problems, which suck, and they kind of still do flare up, but it's mostly a stress response now. A lot of it has to do with your pose. If we shrimp, we are putting stress on our spine, on our necks, which puts a kink in your ulnar nerve, which does kinks through your arm, which does then fuck up your wrist. A lot of that is pull your shoulder blades back and together and mind your posture, and that takes a lot of pressure off a lot of things, as does taking time to make sure that you're not overdoing it. Because if you just go, yeah, no, I can push through, no, that's how you hurt yourself. That is how you hurt your flesh vessel, and you only have the one. You only have one, and you don't want to muck it up.
True. It's very, very true. Yes. A good stretch for people that you could even do it in your chair. You don't even have to get up. You're going to want to stretch your like shoulder blades, and you're going to put your arms back as if you are pushing your shoulder blades together, and you're going to feel it in your back and in your chest. This whole area is what you're going to want to be stretching. That's when I do a lot, because I'm a typer, and
yeah,
I don't want to get carpal tunnel worse than I already have.
A lot of it just comes down to maintaining your flesh vessel.
It truly, yes. Somebody asks, would you think of bedazzling or rhinestoning any of your plushies?
Right. Just because of for one thing, I love it. For another, unfortunately, because of the fluffy nature of the fabric, it wouldn't stick very well. Like, I can kind of mush the glue in to a certain point, but because I'm gluing something to it, unless I'm doing something like what I have done here with our newly minted cane, who is already and pretty much done, because I'm gluing the same fabric to the same fabric. The fibers bond easier. But if I'm gluing something to this fabric, it doesn't like to stay very much at all.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is also why I cast all of the safety eyes rather than gluing anything to it, because I want it to stay put.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. So this is a very, very basic crafting question. When you say cast the eyes instead of gluing them, so what do you mean? What do you actually mean by casting then? Because I guess I did assume that you were gluing them.
No, it's all good. I cast them. I make epoxy resin casts of the eyes in little silicone molds.
Okay, and then
hanging out somewhere.
And then how do you get them to stick then? Because they aren't the.
Well, hang on. If I can find something to put him on so he doesn't bleed everywhere. Yeah, I will grab some
upside down cane.
Upside
down cane, waiting for the blood to dry.
Hang tight, team. There we go. All right. So that, or I could throw the eye around. That works too. So that is a bog standard safety eye. It has a little spike on the back there.
Oh.
So it's got the little spike with the little ridges, and that is one that I cast myself. It is not as neat, but the front of it is about right. The important thing is it's got the shank with the ridges. So that bit goes through the fabric, and it gets a little washer on the back, which sandwiches it on there, and it keeps it on.
Okay. That makes so much sense. That's very clever.
Yeah. But it's that, and I've got a couple of other plushies that I make, specifically my little imps, which I love the hell out of those little guys. They've got little horns, which I sculpted the horns out of polymer clay and chopped the shank off the back of the regular eyes, glued that on, and then made a cast of that, which I think I've got a couple of them hanging out. Where are they? Yes, I do. Ends up looking like this.
Okay. So once you figured out, okay, this screw, what do you call the back of it again?
Shank.
Once you figured out, okay, the shank's how attachments are going to work.
Yep.
Then that's so cool.
But yeah, so that just means that that gives me a bit more freedom with everything, and it's the same with my alien plushies, which I have eyes for those as well.
Demelza, everybody is posting pictures of the upside down cane in a cup. Get rotated, idiot.
I mean, what? I mean, do we want a GIF? Because we can do a GIF of my boy rotating in a microwave. Absolutely an adult. Perfectly. Yeah, I am.
Absolutely.
I'm an adult.
we're very professional.
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh my God, Luna Maria. Holy crap. That's so funny. Demelza, I'm tagging you in this one so that you can see it later.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna crawl through everything after this.
Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Okay. Who won the poll? Who won?
Find my stuff. Oops, come at me.
Oscar. Poll. I'm having to scroll up so much. Y'all are chatty. I love you so much. 54 votes. Oscar won by it was close. Oscar had 18 votes and York had 17 votes.
Ooh, that was definitely a close one.
Oh, thank you, Ash.
Right.
Polls are pinned.
Hey,
Demelza. Queen, I didn't follow our advice. It's pinned. We have a meme that we send each other. It's pinned.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
So definitely Oscar one?
Definitely Oscar.
Okay, so I will rabble. I am eyeballing that timer. Thank you very much, Ash. So usually when I'm designing a plush, I do there's a fair bit of, I tend to, specifically for Malevolent, I tend to crawl through a whole bunch of fan art and see what the general consensus is, just to see if it matches what I have in my brain. And then a doodle happens to begin with. So I would like it known that I can definitely do a one-armed Oscar if I have to. But from my memory here, this is without the benefit of being able to crawl through fan art and see what's going on. You're getting a very classic priesty outfit on your boy, just for the ease of drawing at this stage. Which isn't actually too far off of I have a little Plague Doctor plushie that I do, so it's not entirely dissimilar to what I'd do with him. Incidentally, that Plague Doctor plushie happened in 2020 for obvious reasons. I think I ended up calling him Dr. Beaky and just doing an awful lot of dragging him to work, because at that point I worked in retail and I would just kind of sit in the back room and go, Dr. Beaky says, wash your damn hands. Much to the enjoyment of my coworkers.
That's incredible. I love that so much. We have 2 minutes.
I am drawing fast.
So everybody go visit Demelza's Artist Alley booth and buy some of these amazing plushies from her Etsy page. And there's also stickers, and just go say hi. So many stickers. So many amazing stickers.
Everyone that buys something gets an InvictusCon 2025 sticker this weekend.
Yes. Amazing. And then you can buy my CDs that I made. There's an Arthur CD and a John CD, and they come in a pack, and each one comes with a full 16-page art booklet that is inspired by Arthur and John. If you love overanalyzing lyrics and overanalyzing music, this is for you. They are designed to make you feel emotions about our favorite characters. You can also buy my book. I have a handful of autographed physical books that you can buy in my store, in my Ko-Fi. I've heard it said like 4 different ways this weekend. And go support the rest of the artists in Artist Alley. And that's it. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna work on them. I've got something to do this week.
You've got one sale for me for sure.
Oh, I can figure out how I'm gonna do that rosary. That's gonna be fun.
I was just thinking yeah.
See if I got beads somewhere.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us. I hope your crafts went well. Demelza, thank you so much.
Not a worry. Happy to be here. Happy to scream about crafting for an hour.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'll see everybody around the table. Bye.